Hey guys, welcome back to another Deadbeat Drum Lesson. In today's video, I wanted to talk about a topic that I feel like gets overlooked and doesn't get discussed much. That's drum seat height and distance. And believe it or not, that plays a huge role in your drumming. But before we get into that, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Let's get rolling. Now, if you're just starting out and you're a new drummer, and you haven't given your drum throne height or drum seat height into consideration, you may not know it, but you may be making your drum experience a little bit difficult. Not drastically noticeable, but you may not know it. It's the little things. Now I just wanted to clarify that this is my approach, and remember, every drummer is different. We're not all built the same. We all come in different shapes and sizes, so what works for me may not necessarily work for you. So that's why I'm bringing up these points, so that you can also take some of my advice and apply it to your drumming, and in hopes that that is going to improve not only the feel, but overall your drumming experience. Some of the negatives of not adjusting your drum throne appropriately could be you might learn a bad habit, and that bad habit could turn into a long-term bad habit, and then that long-term bad habit could potentially turn into some serious injury. I'm not saying that you're going to be bedridden, but you might feel some pain, discomfort in your shins, ankles, knees. This all comes, from personal experience. Another potential negative that can happen from not adjusting your drum throne height or distance appropriately could be you could be cutting your stamina in half. You may not know this, but if you're not sitting right, and what I mean by cutting your stamina in half, you might be overworking certain muscle groups in your thighs, your calves, especially your shin muscles. If you overwork those, man, that's such a detriment, and it really does cut your stamina in half. So now I'm going to go over some seat positionings and distances that are not good, that I would not recommend. Now you may not notice at first, but to me, this is sitting too close. Here's why. My knee is over my heel. Why is this a bad thing? It doesn't matter if you have a single or a double pedal, but what can develop happening is you overwork your shin muscles, and then you get what they call shin splits, or what I call shin freeze, and that's no good, because if that happens, your foot is useless. You can't even work the bass drum pedal anymore when that happens. So again, this is bad because your knees are over your heels. You don't want that, because then you end up overworking your shin muscles. And once again, that's what I meant by you're cutting your stamina in half. Sitting too far away is also not a good thing. It's quite the obvious. It's just going to be hard to work these pedals. I have no control over these pedals if you sit too far away. Not to mention, now you just made things harder as far as reaching your toms, your cymbals, and all that. So you'll right away will know if you're sitting too far away. Another bad example would be sitting too high. As you can tell, I'm sitting down, but I might as well be standing up. Now, granted, I am short, but this is very uncomfortable, and it also feels like I'm stepping on my pedals because the seat is too high. It's throwing my weight forward, and it's just uncomfortable. Once again, if you're too high, you will definitely feel that. Sitting too low can also be a disadvantage. Now, this is not a good example on my end because, like I said, I'm too short, so there's no such thing as sitting too low. But I'm going to pretend here. Let's pretend that I am 6'5", and if I were to put the drum throne all the way down, pretty sure you'd be playing like this with your knees up, and you don't want your knees to be too up as well, because what you're doing there is you're using extra unnecessary muscles to make your bass drum pedal movement. In order to make that bass drum pedal work, you are overworking muscle groups that shouldn't even be working. And you could make things a little bit easier for you if, once again, you try and find that sweet spot. So once again, you don't want to be sitting too low to where once your feet are on the pedals, you look like this. That's not a good thing. You don't want that. This position that you see here is my ideal sitting position. And let me go over it. If you notice, my knees are not over my heels. It's pretty much aligned with my heel. Also, I'm not sitting too high up. I'm not sitting too low. I would also recommend at least stay at 90 degrees, or give your drum throne a couple of turns or raise it up a couple of notches and put it almost in an obtuse position. Once again, make sure your knee is either aligned with your heel, not over your heel, just slightly aligned with it or slightly right behind it. And then right here, I'm in an obtuse position. I would at least start at 90 degrees. 90 degrees. And then afterwards, maybe raise the seat up a little bit to see how you like that posture, that feeling. Does it feel like you're working your core too much? Do you feel like your shin muscles are already being worked? All this you're going to be able to tell right away, whether you're sitting too close, too far back, too high, too low. Naturally, when you put your feet on your pedals, it should feel very comfortable. Some of the advantages that you will probably right away notice if you take everything we talked in this video and adjust your drum throne accordingly. One of the things you will notice is the ease of playing on your pedals. You're going to notice right away your body isn't tensing up. It's not trying to work harder to make the movement that you're trying to execute. Another thing is your stamina is going to be probably twice as long. You're not going to be affecting your stamina, like I said. All these things you will notice right away. And in the end, this will enable you to move around the kit with ease. I hope today's video gave you guys some insight in the importance of why drum throne height and distance is very important when it comes to your drumming, and how that can make your drumming experience so much pleasant. Tell me in the comments down below what your personal preference is like and what works for you. I'd like to hear it. If you guys found today's video helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. See you in the next video.